As the question looms of whether Oklahoma is going to beat Oklahoma State this weekend for Bedlam, we're really looking forward to Oklahoma just becoming bowl eligible and realistically looking to see a lot of great things going into bowl season, going into the off season with a stellar recruiting class for Brent Venables. But before we get into it, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, I am one subscriber away from 700 subscribers, so let's see if we can get there today. All right, OU has an exuberant amount of seniors ready to play on Senior Day against Oklahoma State. And what a perfect game for Senior Day. It's Oklahoma State, Bedlam. Go out on a high note, right? A game where you guys lost last year. So, here are our Sooners that have exhausted their eligibility this year. Braden Willis, Daniel Parker, Chris Murray, Robert Congle, Jeffrey Johnson, Deshaun White, Justin Broyles, Trey Morrison, Michael Turk, and Casey Keller. Now, CJ Colden is among those who have been around for a while, but he's more than likely going to be able to get a medical hardship waiver, giving him the opportunity to become the first seventh-year senior in program history. We know that TD Roof is not going to be back, as his dad said that, so I would expect something to happen here. Here's the deal. I want our seniors to be able to have a great senior day, and I would like for the conversation for them to start opting out of the season after this game this week, and here's why. As we head into Texas Tech and we head into the bowl season, you're going to be bowl eligible, right? You can end the season 6-6, and you can really start to put yourself on a high note for next season. And here's what I mean by this. You've got guys like Theo Weiss, who I expect him to transfer out this year, right? We know he was on the fence last year. He hasn't really gotten a lot of playing time this year. You're hearing rumors and rumblings with him and certain people within the program. Not going to get into it, but I would expect Theo Weiss to transfer. Now, I expect Drake Stoops and Jalen Redmond to return. And here's the deal. You expect Antoine Harrison and Marvin Mims to hit the draft along with Eric Gray. Now, what's going to happen with Woody Washington? I'm not sure. But you have a list of freshmen up and down the board that we have all wanted to see play more this season. Gentry Williams, Gavin Sawchuk, Robert Spears-Jennings, Jaron Kanak, Kobe McKenzie, Nick Evers, Jaden Gibson, Nick Anderson, Kip Lewis, Grayson Halton, Caden Helms, Jaden Rowe, R. Mason Thomas, Jason Llewellyn. I hope I said that right. These are all guys that we have wanted to see play more this season as freshmen. OU has an opportunity for the next two games after Bedlam against Texas Tech and for the bowl game to start letting some of these guys get experience. And quite honestly, you know what? I'm going to be like, listen, Dylan, for Texas Tech, we'll let you play the first half. We expect it to potentially be a blowout. We expect us to get a good lead. So we're going to sit you, even if it's only a 14-point lead. We're going to put in Nick Evers and General Booty. We're going to let those guys start to get some game reps because I think that's important. We haven't seen Nick Evers and General Booty really get some good game reps this year. I don't think Nick Evers has seen the field at all. And then as far as Eric Gray goes, you let Eric Gray finish the regular season out, but the bowl game hits, I expect Eric Gray to opt out. And if he's not opting out, I say, Eric, listen, I want you to focus on your pro day. I want you to focus on preparing yourself for the draft. Let's let Gavin Sawchuk, Javante Barnes, and who's the other running back that I'm thinking of that I can't think of right now? Marcus Major. Let's let them get some reps, and let's let them get in the swing of things as they're going to be our main running back core for next year. I'm assuming that Major is staying. And then as far as your secondary goes, right? If Woody Washington is not staying next year and he's going to go through the draft, tell him, listen, man, opt out for the bowl game. Let's let Gentry Williams, let's let Spears-Jennings, let's let some of these guys in the secondary get back there and have some opportunities. As for Jeffrey Johnson, right, let him prepare for the draft because I think he's got a future. Let Grayson Halton come in and step in that spot, right? We can start to allow some of these younger guys to step in, gain some experience, some real game experience, and have fun. Who cares if we win the bowl game at this point? At this point, I just want our guys to be able to grab experience and build towards next season, right? Mims should 100% opt out of the bowl game and prepare for the draft. That leaves room for Nick Anderson and Jaden Gibson to come in and be able to really solidify themselves in the rotation for next season. Here's the other thing as well. Oklahoma really has to start making a case to get guys to stay for next season. If you want Theo Weiss to stay for next season, you might want to start giving him the ball. And same thing for Farouk. I want Farouk to stay, so I think it's important that you feed Farouk the ball and make him your number one wide receiver over the next 3 weeks or over the next 3 games. Stoops, I'm not really worried about it. I think Stoops stays. But stuff like that is extremely important, and I think something that this staff is definitely aware of and something that they're going to be looking to potentially do for some of these players to be able to keep them here. I'm really excited for what we're going to see from this crew going into the bowl game. I'm excited to see the freshmen hit the field. And listen, Sooner fans, it might not be ideal, but looking at what the team is going to be bringing in 2023, you really want to have a good, solid foundation with this 2022 class, and you really want them to be able to have real game experience so that these 2023 guys can sit back and develop as much as possible. That's really what it is. You want the 2023 class to develop as much as possible. You want the recruits who are going to be here at Bedlam see a good performance, but then also see against Tech and the bowl game that you are going to go out there and play the young guys to get them experience, even when it means sacrificing a win. Because I think sometimes, especially where we're at right now, getting the guys experience is more important than the win. And OU fans might not like that, but it's the truth. And hey, you know what? Maybe we beat Oklahoma State. Maybe we beat Tech. And right now that'll put us at 7-5. And I mean, maybe USC loses their next 2 games and a bowl game wants to pick USC and Oklahoma up in a bowl game. It's a possibility. All right. I'm going to keep throwing it out there because I want to see. Now, however, if we have to go play Lincoln Riley in a bowl game, everything that I just said, throw it out the door. I want to throw the house at Lincoln Riley, and I'd expect these players to want to be able to do that as well. But other than that, I think Oklahoma has a really good shot and a really good opportunity here to be able to give some of these guys experience. I really like the core foundational pieces that we brought in 2022 from the recruiting class, and what we're bringing in 2023, it only gets better. You got guys like Jackson Arnold coming back in and going to help stabilize that quarterback room. You've got PJ Adebore and Derek LeBlanc. And guys, Derek LeBlanc is a menace. Just wait. He's not a top 100 player right now, but Derek LeBlanc, if he could be a 5-star. Let's just put that out there. He could be a 5-star. He has that kind of talent. And Derek LeBlanc is going to be able to take a leadership role in that on the defensive line for one, but on the defensive side of the ball, and really be able to get these guys motivated and get these guys ready to play. You got guys like Caden Green, who he's ready to start preparing himself to play in this Oklahoma offense next year on the offensive line. And that's what I like. I like how these 2023 guys, they're focused. They're locked in on getting themselves ready to come in and make an impact day one for the Sooners. And if you're Brent Venables and this staff, you want to be able to put out the same effort in getting the 2022 class up to speed and ready to go for next season so that all these guys can blend and mesh together, and hopefully we can go out there and win 10 or 11 games next season. Not calling us to make the playoffs just yet, but 10 or 11 games, I would expect at least 10 next season. Expect at least 10, especially with talent that's coming in. Shoot, Samuel Omosigo just shot up to a top 100 player. Samuel Omosigo. Now, here's the thing about Omosigo, guys. Here's why you should really like this kid. 6'1", 208-pound linebacker. Probably needs to put on about 25, 30 more pounds, but he has good size for a modern day linebacker, right? He's going to be able to thrive in space, and he's going to be able to really help in those midfield situations, right? I think where you got the 2nd and 5s and your, some of those, right? I think he's going to be able to thrive in that. And listen, he's developed really good skills in high school. As a linebacker and what you want to see, I think Samuel Omosigo checks all of the boxes. This man is focused on football, extremely focused on football. And he's gotten an extreme amount of linebacker reps. Guys, let me just look at his stats real quick. 2021, which he didn't play in 2020. 2021 had 150 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 2 fumble recovery for a touchdown, 5 interceptions. This guy is going to be a menace for the Sooners. And he fills a gap where I think the Sooners really need, right? They really need good linebackers. And I think Samuel Omosigo helps fill that role. He helps fill some of those gaps that we have. And quite honestly, he's one of those guys where I look at it and I feel like Samuel Omosigo. Now, I don't want to put too much pressure on this kid, but I feel like Omosigo, if he puts on 20 pounds in the offseason and he really focuses with Schmitty as soon as he gets on campus on developing his body, this man could be a day 1 Power 5 starter. I said it because he has an athletic ability. This guy is a straight up excellent athlete. He's a 3-sport varsity athlete in high school: basketball, track and field, and football. He is consistent in his technique on the tackling side, which, hold on, that's been an issue for the Sooners. His technique on the tackling is tremendous. He can clean it up, he can lay the big hits, and he does not compromise form, right? If he adds the strength, he puts on the body mass, this man is going to be a great Power 5 linebacker. And hey, he could potentially go be in the NFL, and he could potentially play some good reps. Listen, Brent Venables has historically put out good linebackers. He's good at developing the linebackers. And I think you move Ted Roof back to an analyst role. You don't fire him. You put him back to an analyst role, and you let him help with the linebackers. You let him help develop those guys. He's going to have been a major recruit for us. We're going to look back at this class. And there's going to be guys that you look at and you're going to go, Glado, you got that guy, right? Jackson Arnold, PJ Adebore, listen, I know that. But we're going to be looking at Samuel Omosigo. And we're going to be looking at him and going, that was probably one of the best recruits Brent Venables took within his first 3 years. That's saying a lot because 2024, they're really going after it. He's going to have a great opportunity to up his NFL draft stock while he's here at Oklahoma. And again, as I said it, right now he's a top 100 player in the composite rankings, the number 8 overall linebacker in this class, and the number 17 overall player in the state of Texas. This kid's got it. And I think he's going to be able to put it together for the Sooners. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking about everything that we just talked about. And if you're a fan of the show and you haven't already, head over to any of the podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, or Spotify. Give me 5 stars. Leave me a review. It really helps me out. It helps me grow. I would really appreciate it. Hey, gives you guys an opportunity to listen to the show on your way to work, while you're at work, maybe when you can't pull up the YouTubes.